All right, welcome to the first edition of Alumni Zoom Room with Bristol Bayhawks Athletics. I'm Derek Viveris, Director of Athletics and Recreation at Bristol Community College, and we'll be hosting a series of discussions with former Bristol Community College student athletes. Today's guest has a great story for us, a former two-year member of the men's basketball program, back when I believe we were the Bees, Connor Sowersby. And I'll let Connor fill in the blanks here for you. Connor, would you just fill us in, kind of let us know who Connor Salisbury is?
Yeah, so I started at Bristol Community College in 2011, and I was there for 3 years, so I played for two because I had a knee surgery. But basically, Bristol Community College, was just a great introduction for me for college at the time. I wasn't really ready for school coming out of high school. I wasn't really ready for college, and Bristol Community College did a great job of just helping me get my study habits down, and getting to play basketball with the team there was great as well. So now I work at Westport Chiropractic. So after Bristol Community College, I did a few years at Salem State University. I transferred through the Massachusetts transfer program and ended up saving a lot of money on my college tuition that way. So that was another great way that Bristol Community College helped me out. And then after graduating from Salem State, I went to New York Chiropractic College. And now I've been in practice for about 4 months.
Great, that's great stuff, Connor. And I want to get a little more into kind of how you chose that path to be a chiropractor. But first, I want to ask a little bit about kind of our current situation. We've all been impacted by COVID-19. We felt the impact. Obviously, for us, our fall semester sports have been suspended until the spring semester. So we're seeing a lot of changes and making some adjustments. How's COVID-19 impacted your industry, and what are some of the things you've done to mitigate some of that?
Well, first off, it took a little bit longer for me to get my chiropractic license because the Massachusetts, state offices were processing things a little bit slower. So it took me a couple of months actually of kind of waiting to get my license. But then how things have kind of changed here at the office is, we're no longer having patients wait in the waiting room. So, if you come in any earlier than 2 minutes early for your appointment, we have you wait out in the car. We have half as many chairs in the waiting room. Every time a patient comes in, the first thing they have to do is wash their hands before they get checked in. And then once they're checked in, they're able to come right into our office. So we're also having to clean all of our equipment in between each patient. So we've actually kind of doubled our treatment time. So I'm spending a lot more time in between patients, where usually you would clean off the table and things of that nature, but now we're much more diligent with that and cleaning as well. Any equipment we use, I know for some patients I use multiple tables, so that would require me cleaning both tables in between each patient. So, we're just trying to stick with all the recommendations and make as many changes as we can to make, have the safest environment for our patients.
Cool, good stuff. Yeah, I mean, we're all trying to make those adjustments and keep the environment around our constituents as safe as possible. So
exactly,
I totally get that. So tell me a little bit about how you made that decision to become a chiropractor. What kind of went through your mind?
Actually, yeah, I kind of started at BCC. So I was a criminal justice major, and I was, I had really good grades, and I really liked, the criminal justice program there. But a lot of my teammates were, having some nagging injuries and stuff like that. And I was big into working out, and I was, doing a lot of independent research on, how to recover faster from an ankle injury. And, I had patellar tendonitis, so I was having what's called jumper's knee, and a couple of my teammates were as well. So I kind of started experimenting with those guys and, telling the guys we need to stretch more, pay more attention to our form when we're working out. And, one of my teammates, it was actually Jose Paulino, was like, man, you should do this for a job. You should become a physical therapist or, become a doctor. And I started to think about it, and I was like, hey man, I think you got a good point. So when I did transfer into Salem State from Bristol Community College, I transferred into their exercise science program. So I wasn't sure exactly what I wanted to do. I was actually leaning a lot closer to physical therapy, but I halfway through the program there at Salem, I did an internship with a chiropractor, and I loved it. It was awesome. I knew it was for me right away. It was one of those epiphany moments. And I'm really happy I went to school and, for chiropractic, and I'm really happy with this field.
Excellent. And you're back. You're in your hometown, right?
Yeah, I'm in Westport.
Nice. What's
Yep.
the name of the office you work at?
Westport Chiropractic.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'll give you a little plug.
Nice and simple. Yeah. So I'm actually working. I'm working with the owner here was a family friend. I graduated high school with his daughter. I played on basketball teams with his son. So while I was in chiropractic school, I was, he was constantly reaching out to me, and I had actually already had a job lined up with the chiropractor that I worked for and did an internship with up in Salem. But how things worked out, my wife and I really, took a look into, being close to my family, having my parents around, and, if we're going to have kids soon, and it'd be great to have, that support system, have my mom and dad here, and her mother lives in Fall River. So we leaned actually towards staying here and staying local.
Good stuff. So you mentioned you kind of got the idea of becoming a chiropractor during your time at Bristol, and you kind of touched on how it's kind of helped you make a decision to go to Salem and take those next steps. Could you just kind of tell us a little bit about maybe if there was one specific thing or one area that Bristol really prepared you?
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
For as you
my study habits. I mean, when I was in high school, I didn't really do my work. I wasn't a diligent student. I was more worried about playing basketball after school and traveling to the away game with the team. And Bristol really helped me get my maturity level there. And I would have never thought that I would have been able to actually go to school to be a chiropractor and do all the studying that, being a chiropractor required. But Bristol Community College was that first step for me, really, where I was able to actually see that I could be a successful student. And, if I put my mind to it, I could work hard and get good grades in college, because when I was in high school, I didn't really think I was going to go to college. I wasn't sure that that college was for me. I wasn't sure if I would be, diligent enough with my studies, but that was really great for my confidence, being able to, and Coach Rob was awesome with the study halls and making sure we did our work and making sure, he was really on top of us. And that was huge in developing those study habits and that camaraderie with my team, and kind of not only making sure that I was good with my studies, but making sure that my friends and my teammates were also getting their work done. So I would say, the most beneficial thing that Bristol Community College did for me was build that confidence level. It was that first kind of step towards me proving to myself that I had what it took to be a good student at the college level.
Yeah, that's great to hear. We like to say that athletics is really an extension of the classroom, right? It goes beyond the playing field and the courts, and we're glad to hear that you were able to pick up some good habits and some good academic skills to help you along the way while you're here. So that's great.
Another
stuff.
thing too is sorry to cut you off. You guys have a great great resources for tutors. I mean, I was in the tutoring center a couple times a week. Especially my first semester at school, my grades only got better and better, the further I got into the program. At the beginning, I was a little bit nervous. And so I spent a lot of time in the tutor center, and there was just so many resources there if you take advantage of them. So that was also another big thing.
Yeah, that's a great point. And that kind of leads me to my next question is, any advice that you have for any current or future Bristol student athletes?
Yeah, well, my advice would be first and foremost to take advantage of the resources that are offered to you, because, if you're not using them, you can't really say that, school's not for you or college isn't for you. Because I know I struggled at first, at Bristol Community College, because I wasn't really aware of the resources. But as soon as the teachers started telling me that there's, the tutor center and Coach Rob started the study halls, I mean, that was huge. My advice would be to take advantage of those resources. And my advice for anybody who's considering if they should go to Bristol Community College or if they should go to a four-year school would be definitely go to Bristol Community College, because not only are you going to save money, not paying that high tuition of a four-year school, especially a private school, but you don't really know what you want to do right away, right? Like I thought I wanted to be a police officer, and I had been thinking that for about 5 or 6 years before I even went to Bristol Community College. And I graduated from Bristol Community College with a degree in criminal justice. If I went to a 4-year school and started that degree, especially if it was a private school, I mean, I would have had all that time put into a 4-year degree of something that I didn't really want to do when I changed my mind halfway through the program. Where with Bristol, I used the Massachusetts transfer program that Bristol Community College offers, and I transferred right into a state school, Salem State, and I paid the same tuition at that state school that I paid at Bristol Community College, and I was able to transfer my major, and it didn't put me back because I took all the prerequisites at Bristol. So it wasn't like that was wasted time. It was just I changed my major, and then I transferred right into a new program with a new major. I didn't, lose any time or anything like that, and I saved a ton of money.
That's great. Great advice. It saved your time and saved your money, and seemed to work out pretty well for you. It's great advice.
Yeah.
One last question. Is there one key moment from your time on the basketball team that really sticks out to you? One key win, one key play that you still go back and think about and say, hey, that was pretty cool.
There's so many of them, but I just remember there was one game we played against Roxbury. We played against Roxbury at home, and they were ranked number 2. I think they were number 2 or number 1, in the whole country. And we were like, 6-6 at the time. And, we weren't in great standing, but I just remember we all kind of came together, and Coach Rob kind of, made us understand that this was a moment that we could do something special. And although the season hadn't been going the way that we hoped it would, we could kind of prove to ourselves and to everybody else that we could play with the best of them, when we kind of all came together and worked hard. And we had, such a great game. That game, I believe, went into overtime or double overtime. And we pulled off the win. And that was probably the highlight of my time at Bristol Community College. Great.
That's awesome. You were here early on. You're part of those teams that really built a foundation, got us going and had some success and had a good time. So
the Bristol Bees.
What you did. The Bristol Bees. That's it. Now the Bayhawks.
Yep.
So there you have it. Connor Salisbury, 2-year member of our men's basketball program back in 2011, 12, 13, I believe.
Yep.
He had a plan, followed that plan, and now you're back in your hometown working as a chiropractor. So congratulations on what you've accomplished, and I'm sure there's a lot more success in your future. So hope to see you around, stay in touch, and appreciate you spending some time with us today.
Thanks, Derek. And yeah, if anybody, you can put me in touch with anybody if they have any questions, or if they're interested in chiropractic, or even if they just have any questions about Bristol Community College and the athletics or anything like that. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.